In my thought life and in my leisure time, I've never put all of my eggs into one basket, meaning pool has never been my sole pursuit in life. Some of the other things that I've been very interested in and practiced a lot. First one I would like to mention is target archery. And I am a much better, I have achieved a much higher level of proficiency at archery, and I'm a better archer than I ever have been a pool player or I ever will be a pool player. And for different reasons, I really haven't pursued it as much. I'm still going to shoot at some point. I'm just on a serious pool kick right now. But it wasn't until I started doing archery that I learned a concept of something that archers struggle with, and that thing is called target panic. And the more I started to experience it, the more I kind of like thought about my experience with pool, and that I experienced the same thing with pool. I just didn't have a name for it, and really didn't do anything to try to address it or formalize any thoughts about trying to limit it. So if you're not familiar with the concept, target panic is when an archer is at full draw and you've locked in on your aim point and you've locked your shoulders, and then because of nervousness or anxiety or fear, your form starts to break down, your shoulders collapse, your hand starts to creep forward, your body moves in some kind of way that disrupts the shot, and sometimes the result can be catastrophic. You can completely miss the target if you panic enough. It's kind of like under the pressure that you're putting yourself under, you really just kind of melt down and collapse. And it doesn't happen on every shot. It's not something I ever experienced on every shot. It was generally when, if you know how a FIDA round works in archery, it's 10 3-arrow rounds that you shoot, and you end up shooting 30 arrows to get your score. And that's how indoor archery works. It's 18 meters with a 42 centimeter target. And where I would begin to experience target panic was somewhere around the 7th end. That's the 7th set of 3 arrows. Between the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th end, or sets of 3, I would begin to experience target panic, especially when I knew I was threatening my personal best or I'm in the middle of a competition. And I always judged the quality of a round, not just by the score, but by how I felt all the way through it. And I kind of judge pool the same way. I can get out and not feel as good about it. If I get out and I didn't experience any kind of anxiety or panic on a shot, then that's the better out. So, kind of my experiences with pool and target panic is generally, of course, on the money ball, like the 8 or the 9 ball, depending on what I'm playing. On the key ball for 8 ball, that's the shot before the 8 ball, trying to get shape on the 8. Trying to get shape on the key ball when I'm playing straight pool. The break ball in straight pool offers the most target panic. I can turn a hanger into a disaster because there's so much riding on that one shot. You have to make the ball, break the stack, and keep running and having a shot, to keep your run going. So that offers, in my pool experience, the break ball is the biggest dose of target panic that I'm going to have. So kind of the ways that I deal with it in pool are the same ways that I deal with it in archery. I like to, of course, silence the thinking, talking mind, and I try to focus on my body, making sure, my aim is good, making sure my body is still, making sure my form is good, And then I also, when it's really overwhelming, I like to try to focus on my breathing. So when I pull the trigger on a shot and pool, or I'm ready to release an arrow from my anchor shooting archery, I like to pace myself with 2 deep, slow breaths. And after that second breath, I let it go. And that's been the best medicine, I think, for this issue in archery and pool. The other thing that I like to do, that if I'm down on a shot and pool, or I'm at full draw on my anchor and things don't feel right, if I have time, especially in archery, because you have a shot clock if you're at a tournament, I like to just start my shot process over again. And even in pool, if it's a hanger, if it's a routine shot, and something doesn't feel good when I'm down, I like to get back up and start my shot process over again. But there's more to be said about this, but I just want to leave it there because those are the major thoughts that I have. So until next time, everybody, shoot straight with angles.